The airport was really busy in the afternoon. Olivia Brooks was walking through the gate where people arrive. She had a lot of luggage with her. Olivia Brooks spent 6 years in London. This time in London changed her a lot. She was a girl when she was 20 years old. Now Olivia Brooks is a woman who's very confident. Her hair is a brown color and it falls down her back. Olivia Brooks has eyes that show she has learned a lot about being on her own and taking care of herself. Olivia. Her brother Daniel called out to her. The sound of his voice was loud and clear. It got her attention right away. She turned around to look at him. He was waving at her like crazy. He had a big smile on his face. Standing next to Daniel was Olivia's friend. No, it was not a friend, it was someone special who made Olivia's heart feel funny. Ethan Montgomery is her brother's friend, and they are also business partners. He is the man for whom she has had feelings since she was 17 years old. Ethan Montgomery has been someone she has thought about a lot over the years. This was not the Ethan she remembered. Ethan was 32 years old now. He looked really good. His dark hair was cut in a nice way, his jaw was more defined, and he seemed more in charge. Ethan wore a charcoal suit that made him look successful and elegant. Daniel pulled her into a hug. "You're all grown up now," he said. "You look really fancy." Daniel looked at her. Said, "Look at you." He was very happy to see her like that. Daniel thought she looked great. When she pulled away, Ethan stepped forward. Their eyes. Ethan. She felt something special happen between Ethan and her. Ethan put out his hand like he was supposed to. When their hands touched, it felt really good and warm all the way. Up her arm, Olivia heard someone say, "Welcome home, Olivia." The man's voice was really deep. It was a sound, kind of like music, you know. Rich and textured, not like she remembered it at all. The voice of this man was deeper. She said, "Thank you too, Ethan." Then she pulled her hand back fast because she was scared that Daniel would see it shaking. It is good to be, she thought to herself. And it felt nice to say that out loud, that it is good to be back. Olivia was sitting in the seat as they drove to her new apartment. She could not notice Ethan's hands on the steering wheel. His hands were really strong. They looked like they could handle anything. Olivia made herself look away from Ethan's hands. She started listening to what Daniel was saying. Daniel was talking about the architecture firm where Olivia would be working soon. He was really excited about it, and Olivia was going to start weak. "The Monroe Project is the thing we have ever worked on," Daniel said. "He and Ethan have been doing this for 2 years now. Daniel and Ethan think you will really like the people on the Monroe Project team." Olivia said, "I am looking forward to it," and then she looked at Ethan in the rearview mirror. She caught his eyes. He looked away. The apartment that Daniel had helped her find was really perfect. It was bright and modern, with windows that went all the way from the floor to the ceiling, and they looked out over the city. When they were bringing in her boxes, Olivia could not notice that Ethan seemed to be staying away from being alone with Olivia. He always made sure that Daniel was there. With them, the apartment that Daniel had found for Olivia was great. Daniel had done a job. Daniel said that we are having a home dinner tonight. He just put down the box. "My mom is making a lot of food. The welcome home dinner is at 7 o'clock. Daniel told me that I should not be late to the home dinner." After they left, Olivia sank onto her couch and pressed her hands to her cheeks because they were really red. It had been 6 years since she saw Ethan Montgomery. One look from Ethan Montgomery still made her feel like a teenager who was crazy about someone. This was going to be harder than Olivia thought it would be, dealing with Ethan Montgomery again. The Brooks family home was just like Olivia remembered it. It was warm and welcoming. The Brooks family home was filled with the smell of her mother's lasagna. She loved her mother's lasagna. The dining room table was crowded with the Brooks family and their close friends. There was Ethan sitting across from Olivia at the table. "Tell us about London," her Aunt Patricia said. "Did you meet anyone in London?" Olivia felt Ethan's gaze on her. She said, "I went out with a people, but it was not anything serious. I was really focused on my studies and my career, the career that I wanted to have for a time. My studies and my career were my main priorities at that time, so I did not have time for anything else like a serious relationship with someone. My studies and my career were what mattered most to me." Her father said, "That is my girl," with a smile on his face. He was very happy. There was plenty of time for her to have a boyfriend, and her father told her. Olivia's phone was under the table. It started buzzing. She got a text message from a number she did not know. The message said, "You look beautiful tonight." Olivia's phone had this message from the number. Her eyes jumped up to Ethan's. He was staring at his phone. His face was really calm. Her heart was beating fast as she typed back to Ethan, "This is dangerous," answered away and said, "I know. I am sorry. I could not help it." The dinner was still going on around Olivia. She could not help noticing everything Ethan did. She saw how Ethan laughed at the jokes Daniel told. She noticed the way Ethan's fingers wrapped around his wine glass. Olivia also saw that Ethan made sure not to look at Olivia for long. Olivia was really aware of what Ethan was doing at the dinner. Ethan's behavior around Olivia. After dinner, while others went to the living room, Olivia went outside to the porch to get some air. The summer night was really warm. The stars were still visible, even with all the city lights around. Olivia liked the porch because it was quiet and she could see the stars at night. The city lights did not bother her much when she was on the back porch. With Olivia feeling the warm summer night air, Ethan's voice came from behind her. He said, "Are you running away from something?" She spun around. "I needed a moment to think about what the music festival was going to be like," she said about the music festival. The music festival was what was on her mind. He took a step closer to her. His hands were in his pockets. "Olivia, we really need to talk about Olivia." "What is going on with her?" She said, "About what?" Even though they both already knew the answer. "This thing between us." He waved his hand around. "I have been trying to pretend it is not there. Being around you tonight made me see that I just cannot do that anymore. This thing between us, it is really bothering me now." Olivia's breath caught. "Ethan, you are my brother's friend. You and my brother have been friends for a long time, since you were in college together. I do not want to come between you and my brother, Ethan. The thing is, Ethan, I care about you, but you and my brother are very close. I do not want to ruin that friendship, Ethan. He's not coming between anything." He moved still close enough that she could smell his cologne. It was something that smelled like wood, and it was clean. He needs to know if he is imagining this connection between him and the woman, this connection that he feels with the woman. "You are not imagining it," she whispered. "That does not mean we should do something about the situation. The situation is real. We should think carefully about the situation before we act on the situation." His hand went up. His fingers just touched her cheek. "What if I want to?" The porch door. Daniel came out. He looked at them with a look on his face. The people on the porch jumped away from each other like they were doing something. Daniel looked back and forth between them, clearly wondering what was going on. The porch was suddenly very quiet. Daniel's eyes were fixed on them, his face full of curiosity, and the people on the porch just stood there not saying a word. With Daniel in the middle looking at them with that expression. "Is everything okay here?" he asked. "Fine," Olivia said fast. "I am just catching up with some people." Olivia was trying to sound casual when she said that she was just catching up. Daniel's eyes got a little smaller. He nodded his head. "Mom wants to see you live. She needs to talk to you about dessert." After she left, Daniel turned to Ethan, said, "Is there something I should know about the situation with her?" Daniel looked at Ethan, waited for him to say something. He really wanted to know what was going on with her. Daniel asked Ethan again, "What is it about her that I should know?" Ethan looked at his friend in the eye. He said, "Nothing. I am just happy to see her home." When Daniel walked back inside, Ethan knew that Daniel was really bad at telling lies. Daniel had looked at Ethan in a way that made Ethan think that his best friend Daniel could tell that Daniel was not telling the truth. Later that night, Olivia was by herself in her apartment. Her phone started buzzing. Olivia looked at her phone. She wondered who it could be. The phone was still. Olivia's phone had Olivia's name on it. It was Olivia who was going to answer the phone. Olivia decided to pick up her phone and see who was calling. "Olivia." Ethan said that he cannot stop thinking about the person he cares about. The person is always on his mind. He thinks about them all the time. He just cannot seem to stop thinking about this person. Ethan thinks about the person every day. She looked at the message for a long time before she wrote back. She said, "This is a mistake." She was talking about the message at the time. The message was what she thought was a mistake. "Ethan, I do not know. Does it really feel like one to you? Her fingers were floating above the keys on her keyboard. She decided to tell the truth. No. The thing she was talking about does not work that way. Ethan said, then maybe we should just stop fighting this thing. Olivia, and what about Daniel? The three dots showed up. Then they were gone. They came back again. Finally, the person said, I do not know. I know I can no longer pretend that everything is fine with the three dots in this situation. Olivia closed her eyes, the phone pressed to her chest. She had come home to start her career, to reconnect with her family, to build her life. Then she met the one man who was completely off limits, and Olivia had not planned on falling for this man. The one man who was completely off limits? To her, Olivia. As she lay in bed that night, she thought about how warm it felt when Ethan almost touched her, and how strong his eyes looked. She figured out something that scared her and excited her at the time. She had been falling for Ethan for a long time, even before that night. Living in London for 6 years did not change the way she felt about Ethan. Being away from Ethan did not make her feel any better about Ethan. She was still falling for Ethan, now that she was back at her house. And he had said that he felt the way they could not just act like nothing was going on. The fact that they both felt this way about each other, about the situation, made it impossible to go back to pretending that everything was normal. They had to deal with the reality of their feelings, with what was going on with the relationship. Between her and him, the question was whether their connection was worth the risk of losing everything else. The next week was really crazy. Olivia began working at the architecture company. She had to work with Ethan. That was really tough for her. He was so good at his job that everyone in the office looked up to him. Olivia saw him show his designs to people, talk to clients, and be in charge of meetings. He did all of this in a way that made Olivia feel nervous and excited at the time. Ethan was just so good at what he did. That made Olivia feel all weird inside. She could not watch him when he was working, like when he was presenting his designs or talking to people. Ethan had a way of making people listen to him. That was something that Olivia really liked about him. They kept a distance when they were at work, but the text messages just kept coming really late at night. The conversations would start out pretty normal. They always seemed to get into trouble. Ethan sent a message that said, "Meet me on Thursday evening." He wanted to meet at the coffee shop on 5th. Ethan said, "We need to talk face to face," because that is what he really wanted to do. He thought it was better to talk at the coffee shop on 5th of just talking on the phone or something. The coffee shop on 5th is where Ethan wanted to meet. Olivia's hands were shaking really badly as she typed what she wanted to say. Okay, 20 minutes. The coffee shop was really quiet. It was tucked away from the streets. Ethan sat in a corner booth. There were 2 cups already waiting for them at the table. When she walked up to the table, Ethan stood up. This simple thing he did made the coffee shop girl feel happy inside. The coffee shop girl felt good because Ethan stood up for her. He told me that he got my drink. "It is a latte with extra foam," she said. "You remember." Then she slid into the seat across from him. He looked at Olivia, said, "I remember everything about you, Olivia." His eyes were locked on hers. "I remember the things like how Olivia used to take fries from my plate when she thought I was not paying attention. I remember the night before Olivia left for London. Olivia was crying in the driveway. I remember thinking to myself that I was going to miss Olivia, that I was losing something that mattered to me, something about Olivia." Her throat got all tight. "Ethan, I was 20 years old when that happened to me," she said, thinking about Ethan and what she was telling Ethan. "I know that is why I never said anything. You were too young. You were Daniel's little sister. That is not the case now." He reached across the table. His fingers found hers. "You are an accomplished person, you are independent, and you are incredible. And I do not want to keep pretending that I do not want you, that I do not have feelings for you, that you are not the person I want to be. With I want Daniel's sister, I want you." Olivia's resolve crumbled. She said, "What are we doing with the plan? Daniel will never understand what the plan is. He might do it. If we are honest with him and show him that this is real and it is not something that will go away, then he will probably understand. We have to make him see that this is not something that will last for a time. It is something that is really happening. If we can do that, then he will come around. He will probably be okay with the situation, with this thing that is happening with him and with us and with this whole situation. What happens if he does not do it? Ethan's jaw got tight. We will deal with that when the time comes. Olivia, I have spent 12 years working on a business with Daniel. Daniel is like a brother to me. This thing with Olivia feels like something Ethan has been waiting for his life. Ethan cannot just walk away from Olivia without giving it a shot. She turned her hand over. Put their fingers together the right way? I am scared. He said me. Then he took her hand. Kissed it gently. He put his lips to her knuckles. But I am more scared of thinking about this years from now and feeling bad that I let the woman I love go. I let you go. That is what really scares me, letting you go. Ethan and the girl left the coffee shop together. Ethan drove her home. When they got to the parking garage of her building, Ethan pulled her close. He finally kissed her the way Ethan and the girl had both been dreaming about. The kiss was gentle. It was fierce all at once. There were weeks of longing that Ethan and the girl had been feeling, and all of that poured into that one moment when Ethan kissed her. When they broke apart, both of them were breathing hard. Olivia whispered, "We will tell Daniel about this. We will do it together. We will do it this weekend, Ethan." Then he rested his forehead against hers. He said together to the girl he was with. Ethan meant that they were in this together. Saturday was here before I knew it. The plan was to go to Daniel's house and talk about the Monroe Project. That was not the real reason we were going. My stomach was doing flips as Ethan stopped his car in Daniel's driveway. I was really nervous about seeing Daniel and talking about the Monroe Project again. Ethan said we can still turn back. He said this even though his hand was already moving to take hers. We have to do this, or we will keep hiding from the world. Forever. Daniel opened the door. He had this big smile on his face, but then he saw their hands all tangled up together. Daniel said, "What is going on here with Daniel and the people in the room?" Ethan and Olivia went into the living room with him. Ethan and Olivia sat down on the couch together. Daniel stayed standing. He had his arms crossed and looked defensive. Ethan and Olivia were sitting there on the couch. "Daniel," Ethan said, "there is something that we need to tell you. I want you to listen to what we have to say before you do anything. We really need you to hear us out, Daniel, before you react to what we're going to say." Daniel's face got really serious. "You two are a couple." "I knew that. I have known it since the night she came home." Olivia spoke up. "If you knew the truth, why did you not say anything about it?" "I kept hoping I was wrong about what was going on. I was hoping my best friend would not do something to me like this." Daniel's voice got louder. "You know the rules, Ethan. You have known the rules since we were in college. My sister is off limits to you, Ethan." Ethan stood up, looked at his friend. He said, "I know what we agreed to do. Daniel, that was before I really got to know her. Before I found out what a woman she is. She is always challenging me. She makes me want to be a better person. Daniel, she is this woman who challenges me and makes me want to be better." Daniel held up a hand, said, "Do not do that." He did not want them to make this situation seem better than it was. Daniel said, "You both went behind my back, and that is not okay. You did something that Daniel did not agree with the two of you." Olivia stood up, said, "We did not plan this." She looked at them, said, "Do you think I wanted to fall in love with your best friend? I tried to ignore my feelings for 6 years. I went out with people. I even moved to a continent and started a new life. None of it worked out. Because my heart had already made up its mind a time ago that it wanted your best friend." Daniel's anger seemed to fade. "Liv, you do not understand what you are asking for. Ethan and I have built the company together. We have built our reputation together. We have built our friendship together. If things go badly, if you and Ethan break up, what will happen to the company? What will happen to our reputation? What will happen to our friendship?" Ethan said that they are not planning to break up. He said this firmly. "This is not casual for him," he told Daniel. "Ethan is in love with Daniel's sister. He really loves her, Ethan does. Ethan is in love with Daniel's sister." The words just stayed there. This was the time Ethan had actually said the words out loud, and Olivia felt tears come into her eyes. The words really got to her. Ethan had finally said the words. Daniel sank into a chair, put his head in his hands. You really love this woman, do you? Yes, completely. Daniel looked at his sister, said, and you? Olivia said that she has been in love with him since she was 17 years old. She just did not know that her love for him would last for such a time, or that it would feel so right. Olivia feels that her love for him is the thing, and it feels amazing to her that she still loves him after all these years. Olivia is happy that she found someone like him and that her love for him has lasted for long. There was a silence between them. Then Daniel said something. His voice sounded really tired. He said, I need some time to think about this. I just cannot say yes to you now. Ethan said, we get it. You can take much time as you need to do what you have to do with the thing you are doing. Daniel looked up at them, said, but I can see that this is real. I can see it in the way you look at each other. I do not like this situation. I love both of you very much. I do not want to get in your way. Daniel stood up, pointed at Ethan. If you hurt her, Daniel will be very angry with you. Daniel does not care that you are his friend. If you hurt her, Daniel will do something bad to you. Ethan nodded his head. I would expect nothing from them. Daniel turned to Olivia. You, if this does not work out, you do not get to make family dinners weird. She let out a laugh that she did not expect. Deal. Daniel shook his head. A smile was coming out on his face, even though he did not want it to. He said, I do not believe this is happening to my baby sister and my business partner. My baby sister and my business partner, this is just crazy. Former baby sister Olivia said, I am 26 years old. I can make my own decisions. Olivia wanted to make that clear. She was talking about herself, Olivia, and her own life. Olivia felt she was old enough to decide what she wanted to do. Daniel pulled her into a hug. He said, I do not want to be reminded of this. Then he told her, be happy, okay? I want both of you to be happy. The relationship between Ethan and Olivia got better over time. Ethan did things the way with Olivia. He took her out to nice dinners and surprised her with trips on the weekends. He also helped her with the things she wanted to do in her job. Ethan and Olivia handled the parts of working together in a very grown-up way. They were professional, kept things private. The relationship between Ethan and Olivia kept getting stronger. Daniel started to feel better about things. He really liked how Ethan was with his sister. Ethan treated his sister with a lot of respect and love. The three of them, Daniel, Ethan, and his sister, started to get along well. They were honest with each other. They all loved each other. Daniel and the others found a way of being together, a way that was built on being honest and loving each other. A year later, Ethan and Olivia were at the opening of the Monroe Project. They went to the rooftop terrace that the Monroe Project team had designed. The city looked pretty below them. This was because of what the Monroe Project team, including Ethan, and the Monroe Project team, including Olivia, had done. The Monroe Project was something that Ethan and Olivia had worked on together. Ethan said to me, I have something for you. Then Ethan reached into his pocket. Olivia's breath caught as he dropped to one knee. Then he pulled out a box made of velvet. The box was really nice. Olivia was surprised that he had it. He was down on one knee. He had this box in his hand, and Olivia was wondering what was going on. The box was a deep purple color, and it looked very expensive. Olivia's eyes were fixed on the velvet box that he was holding. Olivia Brooks, you have really changed my life. You have challenged me, inspired me, and loved me so much. I never knew that someone could care about me like that. You have shown me that it is okay to try things and do what makes me happy. Olivia Brooks, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? She was crying tears and she whispered yes to him. Yes, was all she could say. 1,000 times, yes, that is what she said. When the ring went onto her finger and he kissed her, Olivia heard people clapping. She looked around, saw Daniel standing in the doorway with a big smile on his face. About time, her brother said. I have had that ring in my safe for 3 months now, waiting for him to get brave enough. He finally has the courage to do this, to give her that ring. Olivia looked at the two men who were very important to her. You knew? Daniel walked over to them. gave them a big hug. He said, "You are officially part of the family now, Ethan." Then he said, "But to be honest, Ethan, you have been like family to us since we were all in college together." He asked me if it was okay with me. He did it in a very nice way, like a real gentleman. Olivia stood on the rooftop with the people she cared about. She thought that sometimes you have to do things you are not supposed to do to get the things in life. The way she felt about Ethan was not wrong. It was like it was meant to be. It looked like they were being bad. Really, it was love that they were feeling, not a thrill. And as the three of them celebrated together under the stars, she knew that this was exactly where she was meant to be. Home, in, love, complete. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like, share this story with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more meaningful stories.